In July 1985, on the grass courts of the All England club, 17-year-old Boris Becker collapsed onto his back after winning the Wimbledon gentlemen's singles title, becoming the youngest men's champion in the tournament's history. The moment unfolded under immense pressure, on one of sport's most traditional stages, against an established world-class opponent and before a global audience. How did a teenager from West Germany rise so quickly to the pinnacle of tennis? And what defines his legacy in one of the sport's most competitive eras? This documentary explores the journey, achievements, and enduring impact behind that historic victory, tracing the career that made Boris Becker a defining figure of mid to late 1980s tennis. Boris Becker's path to the summit of tennis began in the city of Wimbledon, in what was then West Germany. Introduced to the sport at a young age, he developed his game in a country where tennis was growing in popularity during the late 20th century. His father, Karl-Heinz Becker, was involved in the development of a tennis center in Wimbledon, providing young Boris with daily access to courts and coaching. From an early stage, his talent was evident. He trained with discipline, demonstrating powerful ground strokes and an instinctive comfort at the net. As a junior, Becker competed internationally and quickly distinguished himself. In 1984, he won the junior doubles title at the French Open, signaling his arrival on the global stage. That same year, he turned professional at just 16. His game was built around an aggressive serve and volley style, ideally suited to faster surfaces such as grass and indoor carpet. He possessed a powerful first serve, explosive athleticism, and a willingness to attack the net behind both serves and returns. These attributes would define his early success. The 1985 season marked a turning point not only in Becker's career but in modern tennis history. Entering Wimbledon as an unseeded player, he navigated the draw with composure beyond his years. In the final, he faced Kevin Curran, who had eliminated top contenders en route to the championship match. Becker's victory in 4 sets made him the first unseeded men's champion at Wimbledon and, at 17 years and 227 days, the youngest men's singles champion in the tournament's history. It was also the first time a German man had won the Wimbledon singles title. The victory resonated deeply in West Germany, where tennis experienced a surge in popularity. Becker's youthful triumph symbolized possibility and ambition. His diving volleys on center court became iconic images, representing both athletic daring and technical mastery. Rather than fading after his breakthrough, Becker consolidated his position among the sport's elite. In 1986, he returned to Wimbledon and successfully defended his title, defeating Ivan Lendl in the final. Lendl, the world number 1 at the time, was known for his baseline consistency and tactical precision. Becker's ability to challenge and overcome such an opponent demonstrated that his 1985 victory was not a singular moment, but the beginning of sustained excellence. The 1986 Wimbledon final was significant not only because Becker retained his title, but because it confirmed his competitiveness against the dominant players of the era. Throughout the mid-1980s, men's tennis was characterized by intense rivalries and stylistic contrasts. Lendl's methodical baseline game contrasted sharply with Becker's attacking instincts. Their matches reflected broader tactical shifts within the sport. In 1987, Becker reached the Wimbledon final for the 3rd consecutive year, once again facing Lendl. This time, Lendl prevailed in straight sets. The defeat highlighted the narrow margins at the top level of tennis. Becker's performance remained strong, but the balance between them had shifted on that occasion. Becker's achievements were not confined to grass courts. In 1989, he captured the US Open title, defeating Lendl in the final at Flushing Meadows. The victory marked his first Grand Slam title outside Wimbledon and demonstrated his adaptability across surfaces. Later that same year, he secured his 3rd Wimbledon title, defeating Stefan Edberg in a closely contested final. The Becker-Edberg rivalry became one of the defining narratives of late 1980s tennis. Both players were accomplished serve and volleyers, and their matches were characterized by fast exchanges, precise net play, and tactical nuance. Beyond Grand Slam tournaments, Becker's consistency was reflected in his performances at the year-end championships. He won the Masters Grand Prix, now known as the ATP Finals, in 1988, defeating Lendl in the final. He repeated this achievement in 1992, These victories underscored his ability to compete successfully against the world's best players over the course of an entire season. In January 1991, Becker reached the world #1 ranking in men's singles, a position he held for 12 weeks. Achieving the top ranking required sustained excellence across tournaments and surfaces. It confirmed his standing not only as a multiple Grand Slam champion, but as the most consistently successful player in the world at that time. Becker's playing style was central to his success. His serve was powerful and frequently decisive, setting up immediate opportunities at the net. His forehand, struck with heavy pace, complemented his forward momentum. Perhaps most distinctive was his athleticism on grass, where he executed diving volleys that became synonymous with his Wimbledon performances. These movements were not theatrical gestures but practical solutions to the demands of fast-paced exchanges at the net. His mental approach to competition was frequently noted in interviews and commentary. Becker emphasized preparation, focus, and the importance of seizing initiative during critical moments. In an era when professional tennis was becoming increasingly global and physically demanding, such qualities were essential. The Davis Cup also played a significant role in Becker's career. Representing West Germany, and later Germany after reunification, he contributed to national victories in 1988 and 1989. His partnership with fellow German player Michael Stick proved particularly effective. In the Davis Cup format, individual performance is interwoven with team responsibility. Becker's contributions in singles and doubles matches were instrumental in securing those titles. The late 1980s represented the height of Becker's prominence. His matches against Lendl, Edberg, and later players such as Andre Agassi drew global attention. Each rivalry highlighted different aspects of his game. Against Lendl, the contest centered on baseline consistency versus net aggression. Against Edberg, it was a duel of serve and volley precision. Against Agassi, it often became a contest between return strength and serving power. In 1992, Becker added an Olympic gold medal to his achievements, winning the men's doubles title at the Barcelona Games alongside Michael Stick. Tennis had returned to the Olympic program in 1988, and Olympic success carried both symbolic and competitive significance. The gold medal reinforced Becker's versatility and his ability to collaborate effectively in doubles competition. While Becker continued to achieve strong results into the early 1990s, the landscape of men's tennis was evolving. Baseline power and improved racket technology were influencing playing styles. The physical demands of the tour intensified. Becker remained competitive, reaching additional Grand Slam finals, including the Australian Open, which he won twice. In 1991 and 1996, these victories demonstrated longevity across more than a decade at the highest level. In Melbourne in 1991, Becker defeated Ivan Lendl to claim his first Australian Open title. The following year saw him contend with a new generation of players, including Pete Sampras. Becker reached the Wimbledon final in 1995, where he faced Sampras in a match emblematic of generational transition. Sampras prevailed, but Becker's presence in another Grand Slam final affirmed his continued relevance. Throughout his career, Becker accumulated 6 Grand Slam singles titles, 3 at Wimbledon, 2 at the Australian Open, and 1 at the US Open. He also reached multiple additional finals, underscoring consistency at the sport's most prestigious events. His career singles titles totaled 49, complemented by 15 doubles titles. Becker announced his retirement from professional tennis in 1999. By that time, he had spent more than 15 years competing at the highest level. Retirement marked the conclusion of a competitive chapter, but not the end of his involvement in the sport. In subsequent years, Becker remained connected to tennis through coaching and commentary. Notably, he served as coach to Novak Djokovic from 2013 to 2016. During that period, Djokovic won multiple Grand Slam titles, including Wimbledon and the Australian Open, and achieved significant success at the ATP Finals. Becker's experience as a former world #1 and multiple Grand Slam champion informed his coaching approach. Beyond coaching, Becker has contributed to tennis media as a commentator and analyst, offering insights drawn from his playing career. His perspective reflects first-hand experience of elite competition during a transformative era in men's tennis. Becker's impact extends beyond statistics. His 1985 Wimbledon victory influenced the popularity of tennis in Germany and across Europe. Participation rates increased, and television audiences expanded. Alongside contemporaries such as Steffi Graf, Becker became part of a generation that elevated German tennis to global prominence. His serve and volley style represents a chapter in tennis history that contrasts with the predominantly baseline-oriented play of later decades. Analysts often reference Becker when discussing the evolution of grass-court tennis and the strategic diversity of the 1980s and 1990s. The arc of his career illustrates both rapid ascent and sustained competitiveness. From teenage champion to world number one, from Davis Cup contributor to Olympic gold medalist, Becker's achievements are documented in tournament records and rankings history. Each title required preparation, resilience, and adaptation to changing opponents and surfaces. Looking back at that July afternoon in 1985, the image of the young champion on center court remains a defining sports moment. Yet the broader narrative encompasses far more than a single victory. It includes years of disciplined training, rivalries that shaped the sport, and performances that contributed to tennis history. Boris Becker's contribution to tennis lies not only in the trophies he lifted but in the example of determination and competitive courage he displayed. His career demonstrates how early promise, when matched with sustained effort, can yield enduring success. In an era of formidable opponents and evolving styles, he secured his place among the leading players of his generation. For viewers seeking to understand the dynamics of mid to late 1980s tennis, Becker's matches provide essential context. They reveal the tactical interplay between serve and volley aggression and baseline precision, between youthful audacity and experience calculation. His presence on court added energy and unpredictability to every tournament he entered. As this documentary concludes, his legacy stands defined by documented achievements: 6 Grand Slam singles titles, a period at world number one, Davis Cup victories, and an Olympic gold. These milestones reflect dedication sustained over more than a decade at the highest level of sport. Boris Becker's story reminds us that excellence is shaped by preparation, resilience, and the willingness to compete against the very best. His career deserves recognition not only for its early brilliance, but for its longevity and influence within tennis history. If you found this exploration of sporting achievement meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel Behind the Medal for more in-depth stories of athletes whose dedication shaped their disciplines. This video contains generated images. They are used only for creative illustration and may not represent the athlete's exact appearance.